Thinking of playing your free hit chip in Game Week 28? Well, stick with me, and I've got the best free hit draft I think is possible. Okay, so the obvious reason you're going to be playing that chip in this week is that you have too many players from teams that are going to blank to field a good enough 11 going into the game week. So just as a reminder, in order to create the best team for free hit 28, you need to not have players that blank. So these are players from Brighton, Fulham, Liverpool, West Ham, Manchester United and Man City. So the likes of McAllister, March, Mitoma, Estupinian, Mitrovic, Pereira, Salah, Nunes, Rashford, Fernandes, Haaland, City defenders, midfielders. You can't have any of them in the optimal Game Week 28 free hit draft. So let's get right into it. So the goalkeepers and defenders first up, and I've gone for Kepa in goal. According to DraftHound, he is the highest goalkeeper in the game for expected points in Game Week 28. That Everton fixture at home looks really good. I know Chelsea, they've not lit the world up defensively, I wouldn't say, but I think Everton at home is one of the best fixtures you can ask for a clean sheet. And Chelsea actually have 55% clean sheet odds according to DraftHound in 28. Trippier sort of speaks for himself really. I think Nottingham Forest away, they're a tough fixture, but I think Newcastle are good enough to likely keep a clean sheet in that game. And Trippier just has so much attacking upside. All the set piece deliveries he's got. And yeah, well, set piece shot taken as well. I think he's got a free kick goal in him coming up sometime soon. So I still think he's one of the strongest defenders in the game. And it absolutely makes sense to go for him on free hit 28. Then the other two guys, I've done a little feature on them on this slide. So we've got Chilwell and Zinchenko. Chilwell, he looks to be back fit and playing regularly for Chelsea. As I said, Chelsea have really good clean sheet odds with that Everton fixture at home. Chilwell, I know it's only a small sample size, but he's not been in the team for very long. He's got 2 attacking returns in his last 2, and for me, you could have Reece James instead or alongside, but I just think Reece James, you can't rely on him for starts. I mean, he gets subbed off quite early with Potter trying to protect him, whereas I think Chilwell is most likely to play the 90 minutes and just in general most likely to start as well. So I've gone for him. And then Zinchenko, for me, he's the most attacking of the Arsenal defenders. He looks to he's that inside left-back position, similar to what Cancelo did for Man City last year. Sometimes he ends up on the right wing, putting crosses in. He's that sort of, given that much of a free role in attack. So for that reason, I think he's probably the best Arsenal defender. He's nailed in that Arteta system. I know he got subbed early in the game the weekend just gone, but I think that was just to protect him a little bit, to be honest, ready for that Crystal Palace at home fixture. And yeah, compared to Chelsea, Arsenal have the highest clean sheet odds for Game Week 28 at 58%, and he has the highest expected points for a defender. Okay, so on to the midfielders now, and first up, I've gone for Bukayo Saka. I think he's my number one midfield pick for Game Week 28. He's the top midfielder for expected points, according to DraftHound. In my opinion, he's just generally the best of the Arsenal midfielders. I know weekend just gone against Fulham, Martinelli, Trossard and Odegaard all got attacking returns, whereas Saka unfortunately blanks, but I think that's just a one-off for me. He's still the best Arsenal midfield option, leads the way in terms of underlying numbers, takes the penalties, and for me, he's, alongside Odegaard, the most nailed and most likely to play 90 minutes. So for that reason, I'm going for Bukayo Saka. Second up, I've gone for Martinelli. I think he just edges it for me over Odegaard in terms of attacking returns potential. It's a little bit of a risk in terms of start, so of course you could well go for Odegaard if you would like, but just in terms of expected points, expected returns, etc., I think Martinelli is just a little bit better. Odegaard plays more of the creator role, and certainly with the system that Arsenal are playing at the moment with Trossard and Martinelli in it, I think he's going to get more amongst the goals than Odegaard. But yeah, there's not too much between them. So if you wanted to go for Odegaard instead, fine, so be it. Which is why I haven't featured him as such. Then I've gone for Maddison as my third. I think for me he's the best of the rest really. He's the Leicester talisman on the free kicks. It seems every time I watch Leicester, absolutely everything they do goes through him. Potential for attacking returns in terms of goals, assists, everything. And he's got 9 goals, 5 assists in 18 Premier League starts this season. And just in general, I think he's just an enjoyable player to own. It almost feels even sweeter when a player like Maddison gets an attacking return, because even though I don't think in Game Week 28 he'll be too differential, he always feels like a little bit of a differential that not a lot of people own. So yeah, for that reason, James Maddison I think is a great pick. Then my fourth midfielder, I've gone for Heung-min Son. Now, there is another way that you can play this. You could go for triple Arsenal midfield and then go for Reece James instead of Zinchenko in your defence, if you remember what my defence looked like. There's a viable way to play it, but in my opinion, I didn't want triple Chelsea defence, because if one Everton goal goes in, I think you're hedging too much on them. So yeah, I've gone for 2 Chelsea defenders, 1 Arsenal defender, and then Son in midfield. And I think the fact that Son's seems to have stepped it up a little bit. He's obviously not at the form he was last season, but I think for a 1-week punt, as you would be making in your free hit, he's a nice player to have. And Southampton away is a really good fixture for them. Then up front, I think this is probably quite template, but I've gone for Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney and Harry Kane. And as you can see there, Harry Kane is my captain. He's the top player in the game for expected points in game week 28. In my opinion, he's the best captaincy option. He's Mr. Reliable this season. Even when Spurs have been absolutely woeful in some games that I've watched, he's still managed to come away with goals and assists. So for me, he just leads the way in terms of captaincy options. I think Southampton away is a great fixture for Spurs. He's the top scorer in terms of goals in the league that actually plays in game week 28. It's obviously second in the Golden Boot running. Haaland leading the way in first, but obviously Haaland doesn't play. And for me, if you want to go with someone else captain, fine, you could probably justify it. But if you want to go without Harry Kane, I don't think you can possibly do that on your free hit. He's absolutely essential for me. And then Watkins and Toney is my other 2. Watkins has been in a really good run of form recently. He's got 5 goals in his last 6 games. Nailed to start for Villa under that Emery system. It's a great fixture, Bournemouth at home. I don't think you could ask for too much better. He's got a 49% chance of being involved in a goal, according to DraftHound, and a 38% chance of actually scoring one. And then my third, I've gone for Toney. I don't think Toney needs too much explanation, really. He's a really good striker, one of the best in the league. He's got Leicester at home, who aren't the best defensively, so I think he's got a strong chance of some attacking returns in that game. And yeah, I just think Toney in general is a great option. Brentford are good at home, and yeah, Leicester not so great defensively. I've gone for Maddison, obviously, as a midfielder, but I think they can score goals, but I don't think they could keep them out, Leicester, and I think Toney could well get a hatful in that one. So yeah, that's my front 3. So the team as a whole looks like this. On my bench, I've gone for Nick Pope, Kulusevski, Koulibaly and Botman. As I was saying, you could well have Reece James chucked in there as well. I'm just not sure on his security of starts. And again, I'm not too confident in starting with triple Chelsea defence, just because if that one goal goes in against them against Everton, your whole defence is sort of in the mud. So for me, I prefer hedging with 2 and then going for Zinchenko just to cut down the risk of a Chelsea conceding a goal. But yeah, that's the team as a whole. I've sort of talked through my alternatives already in Odegaard. I think you could well go for Gabriel, of course, instead of Zinchenko. Offers a bit of goal threat. Obviously scored against Fulham. Could well get a goal against Crystal Palace, who I believe have a poor record from set pieces. So yeah, something could well happen from that. And to be honest, watching the Man City Crystal Palace game the weekend just gone, I know Man City didn't actually manage to score in that game, but they look really, really dangerous from set pieces. So I think Gabriel could well come out with something from that game. And then obviously David Raya is the top scoring goalkeeper in the game. I don't think you can make a draft without talking about him at the moment. I know he's not had a great start to game week 27, conceding within the first couple of minutes against Everton. But yeah, he's just got that saves potential, and he could well come away with a clean sheet against Leicester. But given the fact that I've gone for Maddison, and I'm backing Maddison to do well in that game, it doesn't really make sense to go for Raya. But given he's the top scoring keeper in FPL, you can't really avoid him, or avoid mentioning him at least. And yeah, the team I've gone for is expected to get 60 points. And that's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful and it hopefully gave you some inspiration for players to pick on your free hit draft. And yeah, let me know if you're actually going to play your free hit or just watching this for entertainment purposes and to get an idea of what I think the best team is, or to help you make a decision on whether to play the chip or not. I'm not actually going to do it. I wildcarded a couple of weeks ago. So my team's in a decent position for 28 and I've got 10 players playing, which I think is just enough. But yeah, if you're looking to play your free hit, let me know what you think of my draft. And yeah, any suggestions you'd make to change it. Yeah, as I say in every video, FPL is all about people with different opinions. So if your opinion is different than mine, then I'd be interested to hear it. I won't be offended. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like, subscribe to the Golden Goal channel to see more FPL content for the rest of the season, and I'll catch you in the next video.